So you know what? Come back to Miami. Let's box it out. Talk it out too. How about that? We're here waiting.
Sort of happened that I'm going to be in the U.S. next week. You want to fucking do this shit? Let's go. Both of you. I'll be in the U.S. next fucking week.
Hold up. On this podcast, we talk about accountability, okay?
Yeah.
And we are not above taking accountability. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, we made a mistake, okay?
I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I have to beg and plead for your sympathy, I don't mind, cause it means that much to me. Chris Bazemore is long-winded. He be talking for a while. Welcome to the I Can Explain That podcast, the podcast where we invade your motherfucking privacy. I'm Chris Reiter, and to my right is Chris Bazemore, a.k.a. Shut the fuck up already. I jokingly told him he was long-winded earlier, and it's been stuck in his brain. It's been gnawing at him now.
Hi, my name is Chris Bazemore. That's it.
And I ain't got no AKAs.
I plead the fifth.
Bitch ass. Okay.
I was vibing with you too. I was with you.
Ruined it.
I almost stepped with you too. I was like, who gonna do the step out? Who gonna do it first? Who gonna do it? He's a bastard.
So to give you some quick background,
okay,
there's been some YouTube drama among what I guess is referred to as the manosphere. Don't know what the fuck that is. Red pill community, sort of like all in the same vein of like Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, and Abba and Preach specifically. So what happened was Abba and Preach, who do reaction videos, both comedians in Montreal.
Yeah, no, shout out to them.
And they did a reaction video of a podcast they were on with Fresh and Fit, where they talked about paying for sex. They basically just calling Fresh and Fit out on their shit as part of the reaction video, right?
Uh-huh.
So Fresh and Fit decided to respond, and what they did in their response, they came in hot, responding to Abba and Preach's reaction, but not really responding to the discussion that's about sex work. They came at them on some personal shit. Like they ugly and they bummy. They came at Preach's wife.
Yo, fam.
They said they would go send him back to his country. Some shit. And mind you, his country is Haiti, which is not doing well right now.
That was a low blow.
And they live in Miami. You talking shit about Haitians and you live in Miami.
You don't do that. If Bad Boys 2 taught me anything, you don't fuck with Haitians in Miami.
No.
The devil in his house. Shit.
So as part of their reaction video, they also said, we'll invite you guys back on or we can box.
Yo, it's real beef in the streets.
And Preach used to be a bouncer. So their reaction video to the reaction video was like, I'm actually going to be in the U.S. this week. Let's box, nigga. I will fight one of you and then I'll fight the other one. Like, he literally like, I will come down. What size gloves you want? I got them all. I got 14 ounce, 16 ounce, and MMAs. What you want to do? And then immediately, Fresh and Fit sort of recoiled.
Yeah, no.
Issued a bunk ass apology.
As you should. If you go to fight someone, here's a lesson. If you go to fight anyone and they go, I got any size gloves you want, that means they've been waiting for this moment their whole life.
All my life I had to fight.
Wrote a check with your mouth.
They are going to whip your ass.
Not even they, just Preach.
Well, as someone who's
and Preach, I mean, we got caveman neck. We got thick fucking necks. Yeah. He can take some punches. He used to be a bouncer. This is not a dude to be fucked with.
First of all, I used to be a bouncer too. That's not saying much.
Huh?
I used to be a bouncer too. What are you saying? I don't got that neck.
Yeah, but you got height.
I also got stop. Stop, please. And a flashlight.
Stop.
I got hey, what y'all doing over there? It's nothing like being a bouncer and trying to be intimidating, but you're smiling.
Right.
Because they tell you got to smile, like, be welcoming. You want people in here. But at the same time, you got to be stern.
Right.
And it's like, so that's what we're like. Come in, but I'm thug. Like, what the fuck?
Sit down and be quiet, but have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
So then Abba and Preach responded to that. They apologized. Abba and Preach were still sort of hype. So as a reaction to this, Fit and Fresh and Fit went from like, that was also a big thing in their original reaction. Like, we're better than you. We do better numbers, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, they threw numbers in it?
Yes.
This is a whole, These niggas is beefing.
Well, as a response, what should we call it? The community, but the
concourse.
I don't know.
I don't know.
YouTube, the industry. They went for one of the concessions that Fresh and Fit made was the only thing that I've Been Preach have on them is that I've Been Preach have more subscribers. I've Been Preach are like 1.6 million. Fresh and Fit were at like 430,000. After all this went down, Fresh and Fit are now at 395,000. So the whole thing was, once the reaction videos kept piling up, these are two, Fresh and Fit are like these sort of, we're going to teach men how to be alpha males.
Yeah.
All that sort of shit. But then every step they made was not very what we'll call alpha. Getting real emotional, getting hooping and hollering.
What is alpha male?
That was actually the discussion I want to have. Do you subscribe to the narrative of alpha and beta male sort of ideology? And I guess, what's your take on it?
Well, I mean, whenever you talk to someone who's a self-proclaimed alpha, right? They'll tell you this whole long spiel of what makes an alpha. And alpha is this, alpha is, you build a house with your hands. Like, chop down trees like this. Ha! Like some overly, I don't want to say toxic masculinity shit, but it's border, it can be. I think that alpha shit can be very toxic masculinity-esque. Whereas, I do feel like there is it's like anything. Masculinity is great in doses. I don't think we should get rid of masculinity. And sometimes it feels like it's an attack on masculinity because the few people who are quote unquote alphas, they do some dumb shit. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I personally feel like it's dumb. Like, man, you either a man or you not. Like, right. Like it's no real distinctions. Are there people who are innately more leader-esque than other people? Sure. Are there people who are more submissive in some ways? Sure. That doesn't make you less of a man. I knew this guy in the hood. I'm not going to say his name, right? This dude was very
fucking
quiet.
beta over here, not dropping names.
He murdered people.
Okay.
Should let me continue. Then you see why his name wasn't dropped. What's supposed to do? His name is beep, 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 beep. And then all you camera just goes flying and shit. So, anywho, he was very quiet. Some would even say rather submissive. Like, in my experiences with this guy, he was very laid back. He didn't put up no fuss and no fight. But then we found out later in life, he committed multiple murders. Multiple. 2 or 3. He's in jail now. And it's like, so that whole loud and bravado doesn't really mean shit in the grand scheme of things. You can be a thug or tough or a man and handle your business, whatever you think that is at any place. So that's how I feel about it, technically. How about yourself?
I think you hit a nail on the head. I think the whole alpha thing, the concept of it is bullshit. The inception of it. It comes from as far as I understand, it comes from some person who basically compared apples to apples, alpha males and wolves, and said there was sort of some sort of direct-ish correlation to humans. And then they found out that wolves don't even have alpha males.
Yeah, no, I think it's okay. I think if there is such thing as alpha beta, I think it happens within certain realms, right? So if you're better, you went to school for numbers and shit.
Accounting, yes.
That it says on your degree, numbers and shit.
It does.
We give you this degree.
It is a degree from the state of Missouri. So
numbers and shit. So that's what it says.
It say numbers and shit. Yeah. Not even an ampersand.
So with that being said, it's when it comes to things like that, you are the alpha in that situation. I will let you take the lead.
Right.
When it comes to that, I would deem that you know more about that. I don't think that I'm a beta for doing that or I'm less man because I do that. No, that's just knowing your strengths and your weaknesses, which innately is what a man is at his core. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Knowing where you stand. All right, if you are a beta male, by definition, what does that mean exactly? Like, I'm about to look it up.
I actually don't know, but I do. So also don't like. I think to me, like I think you mentioned earlier, like dudes who like hoop and holler, I'm alpha, blah blah blah. It's not one. I feel like if it is a real thing, if you have to say it, you're not it.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, according to Wikipedia, I clicked the first thing that came up, and alpha and beta male slang. It says in parentheses. Are slang terms for men derived from the designation for alpha and beta animals in etiology. The term alpha male is often incorrectly applied to any dominating man, especially bullies. Both have been frequently used in the manosphere, which is what you told me, which now makes me look that up. What the fuck is manosphere?
I think that's like one. I think it's called the red pill community or some shit. Basically, what I surmise when dudes use terms like alpha and manosphere, a lot of them are just using it as this sort of blanket or this sort of coverall in order to allow them to be dicks to people.
Yeah, no, it says,
and then to be like, oh, no, I'm just being alpha. I'm just being a leader. Nah, you're being a cunt. Dudes who use words like alpha and beta are just the male equivalent of women who try to use the stars as an excuse for their shitty behavior. Yes. So if a girl's just like, I can't help it, I'm a fucking Pisces. That's the female equivalent of dudes being like, I'm just being an alpha.
Oh my gosh.
No, you're just a bitch. You're just a dick.
Good job.
Well,
good job.
Bunch of bitches. Yep. Yep. I don't know where that came from.
Take it down, alpha.
but some of it I feel like it isn't necessarily alpha. Like Kevin Samuels, I don't think necessarily he is.
It's a high value man, is what he would say.
Well, that's a trigger word for Fresh and Fit because they are constantly harping on them being and trying to teach young men to be high value men, but they're really not, as far as I can tell, as far as I can see. But like Kevin Samuels, I don't really necessarily see him as sort of this alpha male manosphere thing. I think he's just having, for the most part, he's having these honest discussions with people who think they are of high value and just bringing them down to earth. Granted, he does it in a very roasty and hilarious way because he does it to men too. But people who think they're up here, people who think they're 10, he's basically just, let me bring you back down here. I'm going to roast shit out you as I do it. I don't necessarily say that it's like this alpha thing, but I think he is in the manosphere.
Sure, I guess those
sort of inherently almost.
They were just basically saying the manosphere is promoting masculinity. All right, that's all it's just a thing. Well,
yeah, but then it gets toxic quick.
Strong opposition to feminism, and it's like there's a
difference. Those
are
like
very different things.
Right.
I promote masculinity. I think being a masculine man is nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
In its essence, just being a man and everything that encompasses. But that also means saying sorry.
Right.
That also means holding doors for women and not looking at women than less than, or looking at other people as less than.
You don't have to shit on feminism in order to promote masculinity.
No.
You don't have to be toxic. I think it so quickly becomes toxic.
Well, because very quickly they go, well, I was just being an alpha. I was being this.
Right.
And it's like, no, man, you just pushed the old lady down.
Right.
Like, no, I was leading the way.
I see an opportunity. I take it. That's what alpha does. Murders grandmas. One thing I do, especially with Fresh and Fit, is that they have the podcast. You showed me a clip once.
Yeah,
that was Fresh and Fit.
Did
and what I find, and them try to sort of promote all this like masculinity and high value men, blah, blah, blah. And they try to have these sort of well-rounded discussions on dating and all this stuff. But they bring on like Instagram models and OnlyFans account havers to have these well-rounded discussions, but it's such a specific and funneled down perspective. Like they're only bringing on a specific type of woman
to have that. That's kind of what I got from it too. It's like you're not even bringing the whole scope of women
right
to have the conversation of what do you bring to the table. And it's like you need to have the working woman, the single mom, the Instagram woman,
right.
Everything. It needs
the
to be
lawyer, all that shit.
Professional woman,
the MTA worker. It don't matter.
Yeah, everyone needs to have that, and I think that's what makes and leads to a better conversation too.
For sure.
Like when you're just one-sided and you're just getting that one perspective, then yeah, of course. And then you got people. And then you're like, hey, what do you bring to the table? You're asking pretty women who their whole life all they had to do was and worry about was being pretty. It's like, what more do you bring to the table? Well, being with me is a gift.
Right.
How so?
And that's toxic in and of itself.
Toxic femininity? Is that,
I would
that a
call it
thing?
toxic, because one thing that usually all of the Fresh and Fit podcasts boil down to is that women, it's specific to like a very specific type of woman, usually in Miami, is that they're just clout chasers. So I would call it like toxic clout chasing. Not necessarily toxic femininity. Toxic femininity would be like when Michelle Wolf talks about like men who hate feminists because they think feminists are just women who want to kill all men. And Michelle Wolf was like, no, those women don't exist, until she meets women who are like, yeah, that's what we want. We want to kill all men. That would be toxic femininity. Femininity.
It's a hard word.
There's a lot of femininity.
But yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to that podcast as a whole, I don't personally look at it, but to each his
one
own.
is too fucking, like, same reason I don't listen to Joe Rogan. It's just too damn long. I got shit to do.
Yeah, I got things
2-3 hours to listen to this round table discussion about nothing.
with.
Joe Rogan's actually got some content, but I don't want to hear this shit for 4 hours.
No, that's why they need clips.
Yeah.
They need clips. But it's, I don't know about Fresh and Fit. That's not really my thing. Alpha and Preach, or Abba.
Abba and Preach.
Abba and Preach. My bad.
So where do you stand on sort of patriarchal standards about like the man being the head of the household?
Well, we've had that conversation. It's like, I think it depends on you. I think it's individual. I think it's whatever you personally design. Like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with a woman who wants a man to provide for her, or a man who wants to provide for a woman. But find someone who's also in that same realm.
Sure.
I think the issue comes when you're going to people who's like, I don't personally need that or want that.
When
And
you're a guy
trying
who
to
wants
make
that,
them bend.
and you meet a bitch who's like is partner at a law firm, she's
Yeah.
not going to submit to you.
And you're like,
You
no,
need to find
I need
somebody
you to-
else.
I need you to quit that job so I can support us with
Right.
our Mickey D's
You know what?
check.
I actually just randomly watched first episode of My Wife and Kids, and that's sort of what is happening.
Oh yeah, when she tried to get a job, right?
When they offered her full time,
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember that.
and they have money, they got a nanny, but he's telling her, I need you to submit and be a housewife.
Yeah, no, I'm not on that. I'm not on that at all. I think it's really like, I think I like the idea of like coming home to like, it's just kind of like the American dream thing. Like, people say the American dream is bad, but like in theory, I get it. I get what makes that seem cool. 2.5 kids. It's always like a weird number. It's always a weird number.
Yeah, we adopted one.
Or you just on the fence about, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
Put him back.
But the 2-car garage, the
Sure.
house, the white picket fence, you come home, there's food on the table. Like, that idea and that concept sounds like, all right, there's some good stuff that can be picked from that.
Sure.
But I think ultimately, no.
I'll be honest, personally, that sounds boring as shit.
I like the whole idea of coming home with food.
Oh, maybe, yeah. You also grew up in Red Hook your whole life, so yeah, I get why that would be
and also
enticing.
Picket fence. I think, where you grow up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Missouri, where what?
A lot of white hoods. I mean, fences. You know what you are, Missouri.
Yeah, we do. Even though you didn't choose Confederacy, we know where your heart stands. They was like, I mean,
You're Missouri. I love you.
well, on that note, man, I appreciate you guys for listening.
Peace out.